in a relationship. So 10 years ago, I was in a relationship and I thought I was in the perfect relationship. I had, my husband he was good looking, and we had a nice house. We had two cars. We went to a really nice church. We had a daughter. So we lived this idyllic lifestyle. So I didn't want for anything. And then some way along the line, things started to unravel. Things started to unravel. Anyway, so when I was thinking that life was so good, then cracks started to show in my relationship. And I remember I was at home and I got this phone call and someone said to me, Michelle, I think something's happened to your husband. So I said, what do you mean? And then the person said, he's been suspended. So I said, okay, he's been suspended. Now, I know I was working in HR. I know you don't just get suspended for no reason. Something must have happened. So I said, what was going on? And they said, oh, it's just under investigation. And I said, what's the under investigation for? And they said to me that he's under investigation because there's been some accusations with him and a number of underage children. So I was like, okay. And I'm thinking, this can't be my husband. Nah, this cannot be my husband who we were quite well known within our church. He was like the armor bearer to the pastor, to the bishop at the time. So I was like, nah, I don't get this. This is not right. This is not happening to me. But as time went past, I noticed that actually there's something not right here. I did a CRB check, that's called DBS checks. I did that. And it took long to come. And I remember when it did come, I was touching it. I was thinking, why does it feel thick? Why does it feel thick? And then I opened it and it was reams and reams of paper. And it said that there's nothing wrong with me, but I am related to somebody who has been arrested for activities with an underage child. So I was like, what is going on? And when I spoke to him about it, he was saying, oh, Michelle, no, they've got it wrong. It's not true. It's not true. As time went past, we had to go to court. And I sat in court and I heard the stories from these young people who were going to our church, that what he had done. He was arrested for 13 counts of molestation, sex with underage children, and for grooming. And the life I knew, what I thought was great, idyllic, fell apart. Everything I knew to be true fell apart. And I was thinking, but God, how can this happen to me? Why me? What have I done to deserve this? So I was eating myself up about, why didn't I not see the signs, Michelle? Why didn't you not notice? When we were at court, I remember when I was sitting in court, I remember going into court and I went to sit down and this woman put her hand there and she said, you can't sit next to me. So I was like, okay. So now people were, they didn't want nothing to do with me. I went to the toilet and then somebody said to me, oh, Michelle, you should have read the signs. How did you not know this? And I was like, but when we hear about our husbands or wives cheating on us, and we're usually the last to know, when somebody wants to hide something from you, they will do everything in their power to hide it from you. So once again, I was thinking, how do I deal with this? I sat in court and they said that when I had invited one of the girls to the house, now this started to eat away at me because I'm thinking, so was I involved and I didn't even know I was involved? So I invited her to our house because I had just given birth and she wanted to spend time with my baby. And she had said, when I was upstairs putting my baby to bed, she was being molested in my kitchen. And I felt guilt like no other. And I know there's so many of you can resonate when you're not to blame, but you feel guilty by association. That period of time has stuck with me for life. It always stick with me for life. And I think it has redefined who I am today because of resilience. So during that time, I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't looking after my daughter. I fell into depression. I remember walking to a shop, and someone spat in my face. I remember going to a big supermarket, and it was on the front of the newspapers. It was on the national news in the UK, and somebody was saying, "Oh, look at this man. He should be hung. He should be quartered. He should be." He's sick. And they were talking about my life in the supermarket to do with your level of resilience. So my question to you is, if you had to divide and say, how many people need me? That should only be 10% of your time. The people that are feeding into you and that socializing with you, that should be 30% of your time. And the people that give you a new perspective should be 60% of your time. And those kind of metrics will help you move from having stress to pressure to knowing that you can make it. So let me leave you with these 4 points in terms of how to strengthen your resilience. Be aware that it's happening, all right, and understand that it's happening. The second thing you want to do is understand your setbacks are a part of life. So for us to know that we are resilient, we must go through pressure. We must go through stress. Everybody is trying to de-stress, and that makes sense. But we have to understand that some setbacks are a part of life, and how we deal with it shows our level of resilience. We need to have strong problem-solving skills. Understand, what are the triggers for change? What do I need to change either in my mentality, my cognitive flexibility? What do I need to change around me to know that I can get through this? And the last area is having strong social connections. People that are going to lead you and not stand in your way. People who are going to be your green lighters. Look at the traffic lights. Green means to go, red means to stop. Who are the green lighters in your life that's going to take you to the next level, that's going to increase your resilience at a quicker time? Those are the points, and I'll just leave you with this quote. When we learn how to become resilient, we learn how to embrace the beautiful, broad spectrum of the human experience. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, that's my story, and that's my position on resilience. And if you've got any questions, I'm here to answer any questions.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you. That was awesome. Awesome. Please, Michelle doesn't have a lot of time, so
yeah, so I'll stay around if for the next 5-10 minutes. If anyone's got any questions, or
if you have a question, please raise your hand. So, and then we'll take them in order. Thank you. Or type your questions in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any questions? And what I'll do, I'll put my contact details in here, my LinkedIn, so that if anyone wants to connect with me, it'd be really great to connect with you all as well. But yeah, if you've got any questions about how did I overcome, what was my shift in terms of how do I get over that, that'd be fine. I'm happy to share with you.
I've got a question.
Go for it.
When was that aha moment when you felt that, like, you know what, this is what I need to do to get myself to the next level? When did you realize that?
Right. So I will tell you, I remember I was at church, and the pastor had said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I've heard this many times, and it just goes over my head, like most things, they go over your head. But for some reason, when I heard it that time, I just thought to myself, yes, Michelle, the only person that's stopping me from dealing with this right now is me, because the person who was involved, he's now in prison. Yeah, he got 10 years. So I now have a child. So I had to transform my mind. And once I got that revelation, once I got that download, everything shifted. I started showing up. I used to do singing before. I'd stopped singing through that And then I started singing again. And I thought, this is my time to live my life, whatever how my life will be. I don't want to live in somebody else's shadow. And so from that time, things changed. And, as you know, I'm always just out there supporting other women. I'm just out there pushing, because no longer do I want to be invisible. That's what happened at the time. I became so invisible that people thought it was okay to spit in my face. Let them try spit in my face now. Never. But I was such at a low ebb back then that I would let people walk over me. But now, no, I found my value.
Great job.
Thank
you.
Awesome. I think Iffy had a question.
If he has a question, yeah.
Yeah. Iffy?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you so much for what you shared. You shared something really deep, something that affected you personally. Now, yes. You talked about the kind of people you surround yourself with. You talked about the lead people, which would make up 60% of the persons in your life. You talked about the feed and the need. Now, this lead is where I'm interested in. So I'm beat down. I'm at this place where, I'm fighting all these demons, and I'm looking for this leaders in my life. So how were you able to meet this right people? Because you kept talking about strong social connections.
Yes.
Now, this is very important. How do I meet these people? Because I'm at a place where I'm not confident, and I know I have to go out, but I'm not confident enough. How do I connect to these people? I need them. So what did you do? Did you already have them in your life? What did you do to reach out to them?
And you know what, Iffy? I think we all have people that lead us in our life, but you never realize that they are until you need them. That's the thing. And what it is, so I remember there's even when I feel like, can I do this? Who can I reach out to? And remember, nobody wants to be a burden to somebody else. But I actually had to look through my messages, just people that have sewn into me at some point. And there's people I know, they'll say, Michelle, ring me anytime if you need me. And I thought, actually, let me take full advantage of that offer. And I'll say, this is how I'm feeling right now. I just need you to talk to me, just say something, let me feel better about myself. And so it's not about imposing on anybody. It's actually looking deep and saying, actually, there is that person. I know that if I was to speak to them, they're going to be supportive to me. So you already probably have people in your life. I mean, if you have absolutely nobody, you have to really check your friendship status, because I think we all have somebody, and we don't utilize and leverage our relationships as well as we should do, because we feel that we're imposing. And then some people, and then when you tell them what's happening, they say, why didn't you come to me? My God, why did you not tell me about what you were going through? Because there are more people in your life that are willing to help you than not to help you. And even today, I went to church in the morning, and my pastor was saying that in the Bible, when it says that God is going to dig around you, he's going to get people who are not in your life, get them out. And I was saying to my husband, I said, you know what? I don't really have people who shouldn't be around me, because I did a stock check on my friends list. So the people who are in my relationships, in my friends list, I can reach out to them for anything. So I would say, really check your list. There might be people here, Iffy, that are supportive of you, that you could reach out, people that you trust, know, like, and trust. So it doesn't have to be big leaders. It doesn't have to be big mentors. It just needs to be people in your circle who you know that you trust them, they trust you, and you can share a bit of what's going on with you. Allow them in. And I always say, it's good to talk. It's good to talk.
It sure is.
It's good to talk.
It's good to talk. I mean, I just wanted to back that up with my relationship with Michelle. Michelle posted something on LinkedIn that resonates with me. And from the first day I replied to Michelle's post, she replied back. We've been friends ever since.
Well.
And there's some stuff that she says, I'm like, oh my God, yeah. And when you can relate to someone, when you understand where they're coming from, everything else falls into place. I mean, there's so many things that I have gone to that I would never, ever have gone to if not for Michelle. And as she said, you need to take a stock list of your friends, right? Nothing lasts forever, not even 20, 30 years of friendship. And I've just seen my circle of friendship are quality ones that I can pick when I'm having a really, really crap time at work. Michelle, I just need to vent for a minute. All right, just because I know she's busy. Michelle always makes time, even if it's just 5 minutes. And I'm just trying to back up what she says. You need to look at your circle of friends and just be prepared to lose whoever that is not meant to be in your life. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, guys. Is there any other questions? Zainab?
Thank you so much. I would just like to say thank you so much, Michelle, for doing this for us, for giving so much of yourself. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us. We're so grateful that you could make our time, to be with us and share part of yourself with us. We're so grateful. And I'll also share your LinkedIn with people on the WhatsApp platform so they can reach out to you. Thank you so much. Like, we're so grateful for everything. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure. And I hope the rest of the webinar goes really well for you all. Take care. God bless.